Jamie Lynn Spears and her daughter Maddie are speaking together about the 2017 ATV accident that nearly took Maddie's life. And the newest detail is one Jamie Lynn had not fully put at the center of the story before. In a new People interview, Jamie Lynn says Maddie was in a coma for 2 days. A priest was called to administer last rites, and then the family witnessed a moment Jamie Lynn still describes as a miracle. The reason this story matters now is not just the memory of what happened when Maddie was 8 years old. Maddie is now 18. She has made a full recovery, and she is preparing to study health sciences and play softball at the University of Southern Mississippi. That contrast between what her family feared in 2017 and where she is today is the heart of the update. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The timeline begins in February 2017 on the family's property in Fluker, Louisiana. Jamie Lynn told People that Maddie took a sharp turn while riding an ATV and ended up underwater in a pond. Jamie Lynn, her husband Jamie Watson, and her father-in-law rushed toward the water, but Maddie was trapped under the vehicle. Jamie Lynn said her mother-in-law called 911 and emergency responders arrived within minutes. When Maddie was pulled from the water, Jamie Lynn said she was not breathing, and the family believed they had lost her. Then Jamie Lynn heard a firefighter say they had found a pulse. Maddie was airlifted to a hospital where she remained in a coma for 2 days. That is where the newly resurfaced part of the story comes in. Jamie Lynn told People that a priest came to administer last rites while Maddie was still in the hospital. According to Jamie Lynn, Maddie physically sat up while restrained and connected to medical tubes, a moment that left the family and the priest stunned. Entertainment Weekly's summary of the interview also noted that Jamie Lynn framed the moment through faith and recovery, not as a medical explanation. This is a sensitive story, so it is important not to turn that moment into spectacle. The confirmed public details are that Maddie was in a near-fatal ATV crash, was trapped underwater, was airlifted to the hospital, spent 2 days in a coma, and recovered. Jamie Lynn's description of the last rites moment is her family's account of what happened at the bedside. Maddie herself says she does not remember the accident, but in the People interview, she said the experience strengthened her family's faith and helped her see life differently. That is a major reason the new interview does not read like a simple look back at a frightening headline. It is also a mother and daughter reflecting on how one event reshaped the way they think about family, gratitude, and the future. The story also connects to Jamie Lynn's life as a young mother. In a separate People interview, Jamie Lynn reflected on becoming pregnant at 16, during her Zoe 101 years, and leaving Hollywood to create a more stable environment for Maddie. Maddie, now grown, described the two of them as having grown up together in some ways, a comparison they connected to the mother-daughter bond in Gilmore Girls. That context matters because Jamie Lynn's public identity has always carried two storylines at once. She was the Nickelodeon star whose pregnancy became tabloid news, and she was also a teenager trying to become a mother while the public judged her choices. In the new interview, the focus shifts away from scandal and toward Maddie's adulthood. Jamie Lynn is no longer talking about a baby she was trying to protect from cameras. She is talking about a daughter leaving home for college. Maddie's next chapter is also public in a different way. She committed to the University of Southern Mississippi to continue her academic and athletic career, and local Mississippi coverage later reported that she signed to play softball for Southern Miss. Sports Illustrated Softball Vertical reported that she had been a standout outfielder at Oak Forest Academy, and that Southern Miss coach Natalie Poole included her among incoming outfield contributors. That makes the recovery story feel even more dramatic, but the script should stay careful. Maddie's future does not need to be framed as a fairy tale to be meaningful. The verified facts are already strong. She survived a near-fatal childhood accident, recovered without the public sources checked, reporting lasting brain damage, became a student athlete, graduated high school, and is preparing for college. There is also a family detail Jamie Lynn tied directly to that hospital experience. She told People that before the accident, Maddie had wanted a younger sibling. While Maddie was in a coma, Jamie Lynn said she found herself bargaining in prayer and promising she would have another baby if Maddie came back. A few months later, Jamie Lynn became pregnant with her second daughter Ivy, who was born in 2018. That part of the story explains why Jamie Lynn now talks about the accident as a turning point. It did not only change how the family remembered one terrifying day, it changed how they talk about faith, motherhood, and Ivy's place in the family. Jamie Lynn has described Ivy's arrival as part of the emotional aftermath of Maddie's recovery, while Maddie's current life has become proof, for her family, that the story did not end in the hospital. What viewers should not assume is that Maddie's memory of the event matches every detail Jamie Lynn remembers. Maddie has said she does not remember the accident itself. The most direct account of the underwater rescue, the hospital fear, and the last rites moment comes from Jamie Lynn's interview and the family's public recollection. What is confirmed is that the accident was public at the time, and Maddie's recovery was publicly reported in 2017. People's later background article says Maddie was submerged underwater for several minutes before first responders freed her from her seatbelt, and that she was later released from the hospital after making a recovery. The start line takeaway is that this is not a story to package around fear. It is a story about a mother and daughter revisiting a moment that once looked impossible to survive, and then placing it next to the life Maddie is building now. Jamie Lynn is looking back at the worst day of her life, while Maddie is looking forward to college, softball, and a possible future in health sciences. The clearest current status is this. Jamie Lynn Spears says Maddie was given last rites while in a coma after the 2017 ATV accident. Maddie, now 18, says the experience strengthened her faith even though she does not remember the crash. She has made a full recovery, graduated high school, and is preparing for the University of Southern Mississippi. The unanswered question is not whether Maddie survived, she did, but how this new chapter will continue shaping the family story Jamie Lynn once feared she would never get to tell.